Banksy, the man behind the wall. Chapter 6, Anonymously Happy. Banksy has the same allure of the single name which transforms the ordinary into something special. Who would remember Ben Collins if he wasn't Stig, or Paul Houston if he wasn't Bono, Gordon Summer if he wasn't Sting, or Saul Hudson if he wasn't Slash, or Sherilyn Sarkisian if she wasn't Cher? But in addition, the way he guards his anonymity, although he is certainly not a recluse, gives him the added glamour of seclusion, the whiff of Syd Barrett or J.D. Salinger. Together it is a powerful mix. Collins says that as the years went by, preserving his anonymity became harder and harder because there would be these natural slips. There are all these little pitfalls you have to avoid, and really I just had to keep myself to myself. Perhaps he should have taken lessons from Banksy, if only he knew who Banksy was, for Collins's anonymity lasted just about for 6 years. Banksy's secret is still relatively well preserved after a dozen or so years. In May 2008, for instance, as the Festival of Stenciled Graffiti that Banksy organised in a tunnel under Waterloo Station, a French artist was overheard having a conversation with a fellow artist, telling him, "I hope Banksy's going to shop today. It would be really cool to meet with him." Then they moved on. The Frenchman never knew that he had just had a conversation, however short, with Banksy. So why the anonymity? Banksy's answer is usually twofold. One strand is the oft-repeated explanation with respect to the illegal nature of graffiti. He has issues with the cops. Authenticating a piece he has done on the street would be like a signed confession. He has said in the past, "I consider it to be a victimless crime. What I do generally, but the criminal side is important. Any piece of graffiti is saying you're not going to be told what to do, and you're going under your own steam, and you'll make the city look the way you want it to look. Certainly graffiti is more than a game. If you paint often enough, as often as Banksy has done, there's real chance that you will get locked up. That's the risk that gives it the essential adrenaline rush that most graffiti artists talk about. And that's why they miss when they are painting on walls that have been provided as legal spaces. There is a story among graffiti writers in America, impossible to tell whether it's true or not, that the police in Los Angeles used to try their hand as agents provocateurs who would put their graffiti attempts on a wall, then lie in wait for others to be tempted to put their tags up to. When graffiti writers duly arrived and contributed their own tags and vamps, the police would come out of their hidey hole and arrest them. The police, or more often the British Transport Police, are not desperate enough to become involved in this novel form of entrapment, but they are certainly after persistent offenders.